podcast is part of the Pod Syndicate family. For more criminally compelling shows, articles, and conversations, head to wearepodsyndicate.com.
Hello.
And
Welcome
to
Film Bastards.
Dogs just come in thinking, what's going on?
What's going on? Well, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and welcome to episode 432 of Film Bastards. I am one of your co-hosts, Mark Foster, and ever I am joined by
Ian Loring. Hello, everyone.
And I will not currently joined by Becky, and we might not be joined by Becky because she's on her way home from work and she's also not feeling very well, so she might have to take a bit of a break week this week, but she'll be back with a vengeance next week. Was going to say something like that we usually say, like that she's fucking, I don't know, she's in a fit of rage because Judi Dench got nominated for an Academy Award, so she's refusing to come on, or something like that, but I forgot. So what do we have this week? We have Jackass Forever, so we have lots of testicle talk.
Yeah.
The moon fell. So
it did.
There's two moments in Moonfall that genuinely made me laugh out loud, not because of the movie, because there's something that Ian said to me, and I picked them both out in the movie, and it genuinely made
There's two, yeah.
burst out laughing. And bear in mind, I watched it in 4DX. And didn't know that I was watching it in 4DX until I went up to Cineworld and handed over my card, mine and Becky's card, and went, "Can I have two for what is it?" And she went, "Oh yeah, that'll be." And then told them, and I looked at the screen and went, "Oh, it's in 4DX."
Yeah, that's gonna fuck you up.
Yes. So yeah, so that was fun. And we'll have a bit of what we're watching and everything like that. But we've also got Oscar noms as well, so we'll get into that in a minute. First of all, we are a Pod Syndicate podcast. Other Pod Syndicate podcasts include His Film, Her Movie, Chindruck vs. Punter, The Rewatch Project, Iron Sequel, and a bunch of other things. So head on over there for other podcasts that we know and love. So go across there. Patrons, we are just over halfway through, I would say, of our Michael Marathon. Men doing their jobs really fucking well. We've just done Ali. So you've got all of his films up to Ali there, and going forward, obviously we'll be doing the rest. That's just $2 a month, and that helps upkeep of the show and other little bits there, and makes us feel loved, and we like that. So yeah, so thank you very much, people who are already patron. And if you are thinking about it, there's some choice cuts of manny goodness in there, and there's also a back catalogue of fucking madness with Hellraiser and things like that, where we like to torture ourselves.
Yeah, I mean, with Hellraiser, I was definitely being fucking tortured. He didn't have many delights to show me with Hellraiser, I've got to say.
No, the thing is, now, whenever a new horror movie comes out, like it's like a reboot, a remake, or a sequel, or anything like that, I look at it and go, "Oh, fucking hell no. Which one of us is going to suggest it?"
Yeah. Quite. I still can't believe I was the one who fucking suggested doing that marathon either. That was insane.
I mean, last year alone, we did all of the Saw movies. all of the Hellraiser movies, and we did all the Scream movies in the space of a year.
Yep. And we're not even a horror-centric podcast.
No.
You know what I mean? Like, it's something.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, so fucking hell yeah. Well, usually this is the point of the show where I say to Ian, what's been happening in the news? But what's been happening in the news, Ian, is Oscar noms have been happening in the news, haven't they?
Oh, yes, I insisted we record tonight because I've been fucking spamming the WhatsApp chat where you were the only one who was responding. I think the other guys were probably just fucking working. I was like, what about this? What about this? What about this? So, yeah, it's an interesting old lot. Just to say as well, for patrons, I recorded a 13-minute video earlier this evening where I did my Oscar betting, and that is available for patrons now. Yeah, you can see what I bet on. I was putting it about all over the place, but I'm gonna let it speak for itself there. So, first off, I totted up the number of films I have yet to watch that have been nominated, and it is 12, which is less than I had last year, which is making me feel pretty fucking good. But I believe three of them are Best Picture nominations.
I'm just going through mine. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm not including shorts. I know that's really rude, but I'm not gonna. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Got that one already. 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. I've got 15, I believe. Which is doable.
One of them's Drive My Car, isn't it?
Yeah.
And you're going to have to watch Drive My Car, because that motherfucker got nominated all over the place. 4 nominations that thing got.
Fucking hell.
Wild. And personally, I think that's the story of the nominations. People were saying it's going to get international feature, maybe it will get director, and then it gets those two, but it also gets Best Picture, which not many people saw coming, and adapted screenplay. And that's wild. And I mean, like, I talked about Drive My Car on the year-end show, and it's a film that I don't quite see. I don't get it fully, but I think it's a very good film. But yeah, I don't get it fully quite how it's broken through in the kind of the parasite-y way that it has. But that is wild. 4 nominations and fair play. And what I think that says is, people were talking about, could they nominate Spider-Man No Way Home, and it could No Time to Die get a nomination, was like some people were saying that, but Spider-Man No Way Home at one point was gaining traction, and I'll be honest, I thought it would be very funny for that to get a nomination, just to watch the world burn, but it is a nice reminder that film critics and whatnot still do have an effect. Drive My Car, if critics weren't including it in their year-end lists and it wasn't winning certain critical awards body awards, would not be getting the nominations it's getting. It could get international feature, but that would be about it. It's fully because people have been banging the drum for it that it's got where it's got, and I'm pleased about that. I don't begrudge Drive My Car being in there. I'm not even though Tick Tick Boom didn't get a Best Picture nomination, I'm not being like, oh, fuck Drive My Car. You know, it's like, I think it's good for film that a film like Drive My Car is getting that attention. I'm surprised by it, and I'm sad that Tick Tick Boom and The Lost Daughter didn't get Best Picture, even though it kind of feels like, with the other nominations in particular, I think The Lost Daughter must have been close.
Yeah.
But I think it, yeah, like I say, I think it's cool, and I would rather something like Drive My Car be nominated for Best Picture than Spider-Man.
I haven't seen it, so I can't comment on that.
Yeah, it's...
But,
I mean, just,
but I just...
as a statement, as much as anything else.
It feels a little bit... Again, can't comment on the film, because I haven't seen the film, so it's a little bit wrong for me to say this, but I'm going to say it anyway. Because when does that ever stop me? Like, they feel like they have to have an international film within that Best Picture category now.
And I mean, like, personally, I would have gone, stick The Worst Person in the World in there. When that got an original screenplay nomination, which I was fucking thrilled about, I was thinking, holy shit, is Tria going to get a director? Is Rezvati, I can't remember her name, Renee Rezvati is how I'm pronouncing it. Could she get Best Actress? And it's like, no, they've gone for Drive My Car. But the thing, people really, really, really like that film, and I get it. I mean, I don't get it, but
you don't get why people like it that much. But it's not like you've watched it and gone, right? What the fuck are people talking about?
Shit, what the fuck? Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly that.
Yeah.
Like, you know, and exactly. Like I say, I think it's a 4 out of 5. It could do with not being 3 hours long.
There is that. That's the thing. I sat down to watch it a few weeks ago, knowing almost nothing about it apart from the fact that it was getting a bit of buzz, and I literally sat down and hit like play, and then went nope once it came up and said it was 3 hours long. And it wasn't because I don't like long movies or anything like that. It was just I was like, I don't have 3 hours right now. I will get 3 hours later, but
yeah,
it's, you know, it doesn't seem like it's going to be a. It seems like it's going to be a right. Sit down, pay attention, and don't you fucking think you're going to be entertained? Kind of vibe with it. It might be great, but it's going to be a little bit eat your vegetables.
Yeah, and I think it is. I don't. I think even those who really, really like Drive My Car could maybe not call it entertaining.
That's it. And the thing is, I don't mind. The Insider that we reviewed in our Michael Mann episode last week for patrons, $2 a month. Yeah. The Insider's not particularly entertaining, and it's near 3 hours long. So it's not I need you to entertain me, otherwise I'm going to get bored and start looking at my phone. For new films, I have a mental thing now where even if I'm watching them at home, I have a no phone policy. My phone is there, but it is turned over, and I go, right, no, I am making the time to watch this movie. I'm going to watch this movie in the same conditions I would watch him in if I was in the cinema. Sure. And that's what I've decided to do. I'm not a big looker at my phone anyway when I'm watching a movie anyway. You know, I will occasionally do it, but it's something I did a while back, a couple of years back with the football, and I realised that I was watching. I had the football on, and I was watching other people's reactions to the football on my phone on Twitter, and then watching, going, oh yeah, that happened. And I went, hang on a minute, no. And so I decided to put my phone down and went, no, I'm fucking not looking at it. If I get a message from my watching it and it's like, well, I kind of need to respond to that, I will hit pause and go from there.
Yeah. And it's very one of those. It's very a film that you can't be on your mobile for. I'd like to say I'll give Drive My Car another go before the Oscars, but I won't.
Yeah.
But I'd like it. I'll be honest, if it was 2 hours, I probably would.
Yeah.
I mean, and also I will say I reserve the right to change my mind on it because I was also cramming for year end, and if I've learnt a lesson there, it's maybe get the 3 hour film in before you have to start cramming things.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but yeah, I mean, like if we have a look at some of the nominations and whatnot, maybe I have a bit of a chat about the films while we're going through it. So I've got original screenplay up here. So you got Belfast, Don't Look Up, King Richard, Licorice Pizza, and The Worst Person in the World. Pete Bradshaw in The Guardian said that he thought it was a shame that Licorice Pizza wasn't getting the love that it should have because, but maybe it's too unknowable for the Academy. I mean, it only got nominations for screenplay, picture, and director. An unknowable that PTA is nominated 3 fucking times in the year. If that just felt a bit like, yes, all right. Alana Haim didn't get a nomination. She was always an outside bet. Bradley Cooper didn't get supporting actor. Again, an outside bet. It feels to me like screenplay, picture, director, probably fair enough for Licorice Pizza. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, no, I agree. Absolutely. Like you say, I think actress and supporting actor would have been the other two that could have got in it. But I can see an argument for the fact that Bradley Cooper is in it for such a short amount of time that it maybe would have been a little bit... It's not... When people have gone, oh, that's a cameo, it's like, it's not a cameo. It's not. But it is... It's almost like a supporting... What is it? Piece within it. So, yeah, I don't think that, I'm not using the phrase, I don't think that that's something that people could get their nicks in a twist about for that. I think the actress one's a little bit... I think Leah Harm is really, really good in Licorice Pizza. And so I think that there would have been sort of room for that. That's the one I was a little bit like... that is the other one I would have put in there. But yeah, they were the ones that it was going to get nominated for, was going to be screenplay, picture, and director. And the other one that maybe you could have looked at would have been cinematography. But then again, you'd have been nominating Paul Thomas Anderson 4 times.
Yeah, and I mean, I'll be honest, I was surprised that PTA got in for director.
That's the one I was more shocked about. I get it, the same as you, but that is the one where I went, oh, I didn't think he was going to get that.
Yeah, but I mean, it's like getting in over Villeneuve. Like the fact that Dune, and I get it because screenplay you got 10 nominees, not 5 that like you got for director, but Villeneuve getting nominated for adapted screenplay but not director for Dune feels fucking weird.
Yeah.
Like just that but it feels like Dune Part 2, if that thing lands, not only could he get nominated for director that year, he could win it.
Yeah. Very much so. I think there's an element of, I think, because it's such a spectacle movie, Dune. I think that I think even its most ardent supporters could say it's a spectacle movie. There's an element of, well, isn't that production design and effects that are creating as much of that spectacle as it is director? I'm not saying I agree with that, by the way.
That's the point.
But what I'm saying is that the director ones that have been nominated, with the exception of West Side Story and Spielberg, but that's Spielberg for West Side Story. But Jane Campion, Paul Thomas Anderson, Ryusuke Hamaguchi.
Ryosuke Hamaguchi. Yeah, sure.
I'm with that, yeah. And Branagh. They're all quite smaller, more auteuralistic experiences as films.
Sure.
So I think there's an element of I think that there might be just sort of in the background of Academy minds that kind of idea that this isn't this is, you're getting a director's vision here, whereas Dune is, well, you're taking the vision from the book and throwing it on the screen, and it's a more holistic skill than it is just a directorial skill.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Just going back to Licorice Pizza for a second, one stat that kind of blew my mind: Bradley Cooper this year is the 4th time he's been nominated as a producer for Best Picture. How mad is that?
Is that for Nightmare Alley?
Nightmare Alley.
Of course, yeah. So
Nightmare Alley, Joker, A Star Is Born, and American Sniper.
Fucking hell.
Like, that is wild. And, you know, fair fucking play. You know, like, he's got quite a few acting noms, but he's getting there with his Best Picture noms as well, you know. And it feels to me like the year that Bradley Cooper wins for something, there's going to be, like, a real outpouring of fucking yes. And he's got... I think he's directing, like, is it a Leonard Bernstein biopic for Netflix? I think he's got coming out sometime this year.
I think it is this. Yeah.
So we'll see how that goes. But yeah, I mean, so I suppose, touching on that. Oh, actually, sorry, and Alana Haim, Best Actress was just insanely competitive. You know, Lady Gaga didn't get in. Kristen Stewart got in. It kind of feels like under the wire. Renee Resvata from The Worst Person in the World, I thought was on the bubble there as well. Like, there were a lot of could they squeak ins with Best Actress. So yeah, I feel like Haim would have been like 6th or 7th, but it is what it is. So adapted screenplay.
So, just out of curiosity, then before we move on to what is next one, what do you think's winning Best Original Screenplay?
Oh, that's a good point. I think it's Licorice Pizza. I think that the voters are going to go, it doesn't have a chance in film or director.
Yeah.
Don't Look Up has not popped up nearly as much as it seemed like it was going to, and McKay already has one.
Are you thinking this is just PTA's time?
Yeah, I think it's a PTA's time one. I think if there is going to be a spoiler, it would be Belfast, because I don't see Belfast getting anything else. But yeah, Licorice Pizza, I think, is pretty dead on, personally.
Yeah, I think Licorice Pizza could win Best Original Screenplay as well.
You know, like I say, I wouldn't begrudge it. I didn't like it nearly as much as you did, but it's fair enough, and it feels right that PTA has an Oscar, and it doesn't feel like a legacy one. It just feels like all right, fair enough. It's a good film, so yeah. So adapted screenplay. I think this category is really interesting. So you've got Coda, which I will now watch.
Yep.
Drive My Car, Dune, The Lost Daughter, and The Power of the Dog. And here, it kind of feels like, well, The Power of the Dog is going to win a shitload, and this is going to be one of them that it wins. But
I have a but here. I think somebody else wins it.
I think maybe Coda's going to do it.
Nope.
But are you thinking Lost Daughter?
I think Lost Daughter wins it.
Yeah, I would be thrilled if The Lost Daughter did it here.
I think it's one of two it's going to win.
I think I know the other one. But the thing is, Coda, right? Now that they've got the nominations, I could see Apple really fucking pressing the flesh and like arranging all sorts of fucking parties and events and whatnot for Academy members over the next month or two. I could see Apple going mad on that. And the thing is, Netflix are now split between The Lost Daughter and The Power of the Dog.
Yeah.
And I wonder if the tensions could be frayed there. I like The Power of the Dog. I think it's a very good film. I would be a bit all right then if it did a sweep.
I don't think it's going to do a sweep, but I do think it's going to do well.
It's going to win a lot. That's the thing. It's gonna. I
think there's at least. I think it's getting at least 2 or 3. 4.
Yeah, I mean, like, spoilers, I think it's getting picture and director.
I think it's getting picture and director. I think, well, yeah, we'll come to it. I've got the ones I think it's going to get as we're going along.
Yeah, sure. But, yeah, and it's... I don't know, but again, it kind of feels like, well, Drive My Car hasn't got... Well, no, do you know what? Drive My Car wins international feature, and I wonder whether people would just be like, yeah, all right, that's fine, that's good enough.
Yeah, I think The Lost Daughter wins this. In fact, it's a very good film. It's also... It's hard to get away from the fact that it's actually a really good script as well. Like, you know, in terms of how the tension's written and how the character development is there, but it doesn't overdevelop them, so you actually get the awkwardness within the film that's there. And I don't think it harms its chances the fact that it's Maggie Gyllenhaal.
No, exactly. Yeah, and I mean, she's been around. People like her. But it may also be people going, this is her first film, she'll be back.
There is an element of that. But then I think people thought the same thing with Jordan Peele, and then he won. Yeah,
that's true. I wouldn't begrudge. I'd be fucking stunned if Dune won. But to be honest, I wouldn't necessarily begrudge any of them. My I mean, I haven't seen Coda yet, obviously, but my favourite of them is The Lost Daughter. But even if Drive My Car got it, it'd be like, yeah, all right, fair enough. You know, cool, why not? It's a great fucking exploration of grief. I mean, it's a terrific exploration of grief. They could have just said it in maybe closer to 2 hours than 3, but yeah. So, visual effects, I think, is an interesting one. So, you got Dune, Free Guy, No Time to Die, Shang-Chi, and Spider-Man. Spider-Man and Shang-Chi, I think, would be really fucking boring wins.
Yeah.
I, personally, for me, what I'd want to win, it's between Free Guy and No Time to Die. Because Free Guy, they created this really interesting, vivid world of a video game, and I think they got that aesthetic done really well. But then No Time to Die, there's an awful lot of fucking practical visual effects work in that, and I love that. That's the thing. Shang-Chi and Spider-Man, so much of it is shot against green screens, and it just, it's like that stuff is very, very impressive. And to be fair, Free Guy is as well, but like I found how the visual effects
are used within the storytelling.
Yeah, it assisted the storytelling in Free Guy. Yeah, in all honesty, I thought it was really, really well done. I think this one is going to be Dune.
It's going to be Dune.
But I think if anyone spoils it, it's No Time to Die.
Yeah, it's going to be Dune.
Yeah. Okay, sound. So we don't have sound editing and sound mixing anymore. The sound branch themselves said, just do one, which is interesting. And I'm not sure I agree with that, to be honest. But anyway, nominees are Belfast, Dune, No Time to Die, The Power of the Dog, and West Side Story. So, Dune, the soundscape in Dune is fucking mental.
Yep.
And it's great.
Yep.
I'd be surprised if this is one that The Power of the Dog gets.
Yeah.
I've not seen Belfast. Does Belfast scream to you best sound nominee?
There's a couple of points I will say that stand out for it. Yeah, I can see a reason for its inclusion based on a few scenes. Certainly, yeah.
Okay, all right, that's interesting.
Whereas I can't for Power of the Dog.
Yeah, quite. I feel like it's a knife fight between Dune and No Time to Die.
And I think that they often like Bond for best sound.
Yeah. And I think this might... Because best original song, I don't think is going to No Time to Die.
Because it's a fucking 2-year-old song.
That is a part of it, yeah. But I think No Time to Die gets best sound myself.
Yeah, I think that.
I'm going to skip the shorts.
Yeah.
Apologies. But yeah. Production design. Dune, Nightmare Alley, The Power of the Dog, The Tragedy of Macbeth making its first appearance here, and West Side Story.
It's Dune.
I think... Now that's interesting. I think this is the one where they go, we're going to give Nightmare Alley something.
I think
it
it's
is
Dune.
very production designed.
It is.
Most production design.
It is, but it's also. I think it's a little bit. Del Toro's are always heavily production designed, and I think that this is possibly one of the ones that's not as well done as his other ones. So yeah,
there's a lot of okay.
There's an idea of going for Tragedy of Macbeth, in the sense that it's minimalistic rather than.
I was just thinking that,
rather
that would be
than
a really interesting, provocative choice.
Yeah, rather than the little bit of at points when Nightmare Alley can be a little bit find the magic hat. So yeah, the Tragedy of Macbeth could get that, but I do think they're going to go Dune.
Okay, fair enough. I could see it. Original song. So, Be Alive from King Richard, Dos Oruguitas from Encanto, Down to Joy from Belfast, No Time to Die from No Time to Die, and for fuck's sake, Diane Warren's done it to me again, Somehow You Do from 4 Good Days. So, I had to watch a film last year, this Netflix film starring Sophia Loren, whose name I cannot remember, and I had to watch it because Diane Warren got a fucking nomination for a song that played in the end credits. I don't even know what 4 Good Days is. I've not even looked it up because I was waiting for now.
Oh, it's the Glenn Close Mila Kunis one.
What's that then? Oh God! All right.
Yeah, it's a bleak drama.
Directed by Rodrigo Garcia. What do I know him from?
Albert Nobbs.
Oh, he directed Albert Nobbs. Fucking hell!
Fucking hell! I don't want to watch this.
Oh wow, all right.
Albert Nobbs was a shit film. I'm gonna put it out there.
God,
it's fucking shit.
Ah, brilliant. All right. Rotten Tomatoes, it's got 53%. Brilliant.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. Fucking hell.
Right. Best original song. It just. I'm starting to be a little bit with this one. Like, I'm not even sure this needs to be a category.
I mean. The thing is, there's been some some fantastic winners in days gone by.
There have.
And, fantastic nominees and whatnot. But Yeah, I mean,
No,
a Van Morrison song I've never heard of.
No Time to Die is not a great song. It's just
No,
not.
no, and the thing is, it's not undeniable. It's not going to win. The one that wins, Lin-Manuel Miranda, is going to complete his EGOT and is going to win for Dos Oruguitas, even though Disney done fucked up, because if, hindsight's 2020, if they put in We Don't Talk About Bruno, that would be the most odds-on nominee of any fucking nominee in the entire lot. Like, that thing is let it go levels of obviously.
So does it lose out because people will look at it and go, yeah, but it's no. Not We Don't Talk About Bruno? Or do they just see Encanto and go, vote?
They'll see Encanto and they'll see Lin-Manuel Miranda.
That's a fair point.
And again, I don't begrudge it. This is the thing. It's like there's so many people who are being so ride or die about certain things about the Oscars, and it's like I think I'm past that in life now.
Yeah.
I'm feeling relatively chill about it all.
Yeah, I'm very much like, this isn't that important. It's fun.
Yeah.
It's
fun. It's fun. And that's the thing. It's fun. But yeah, Lin-Manuel Miranda wins this. I could see like the King Richard one. Beyonce's one of the nominees.
Yeah.
So if there's any star fuckery around, I could see that happening. But then again, Lin-Manuel Miranda is kind of star fucking. But also, Lin-Manuel Miranda, this is the only one that like he would personally win for, I believe. Yeah, because he didn't do the score for Encanto. So, and it feels like people are going to be like, let's give Lin-Manuel Miranda an Oscar for anything that we can. Because, I mean, like, to be honest, I think he probably should have been nominated for Best Director for Tick Tick Boom, but it didn't happen. So, it's like, that's the thing. I wouldn't begrudge this because it would be cool to see him win something.
Yeah, fair.
Not that Lin-Manuel Miranda particularly needs to win any more things, but... And the dude's only 42. That's fucking disgusting. Like, he's gonna be around for so long. But, again, but also, that's great. So... Original score. Don't Look Up, Dune, Encanto, Parallel Mothers, The Power of the Dog.
Power of the Dog.
So...
Johnny Greenwood had 4 scores this year, I think. And this is the one he got nominated for.
I think people are going to hear the siren song of the space bagpipes.
You reckon? You reckon Zimmer's getting it?
I think Zimmer's getting it. It would only be his second Oscar, and his
say...
first was for the fucking Lion King.
Fuck! Hans Zimmer only got 1. Feels like he should have
pretty sure
15.
I'm pretty sure. And he got, and I'd like to be clear, the original Lion King.
Yeah, Lion King. Jesus, I thought you had a couple.
Yeah, isn't that crazy though?
That's
so
mental.
that's the thing. Like, I mean, I think Johnny Greenwood should have been nominated for sitting on an orchestra or sitting on a jazz band for Spencer.
Yeah,
but
he could have easily been nominated for Power of Dog and Spencer, and I don't think anyone would have been able to complain.
No, quite. I mean, Parallel Mothers is like mad. Like, and to be honest, I think it's probably for the opening titles alone, which is just the most "you are about to watch a film by Almodovar" score that I've ever heard, and it fucking. The thing is, it rules. It rules. So, like, I'm kind of, or he hasn't got a chance in hell of winning, but Alberto Iglesias getting nominated for Parallel Mothers, good on him. And I mean, like, it. Yeah, we'll talk about its other nomination, but the fact that it got those nominations and was shut out of international feature is something. But yeah, there we go. I think, and this also puts forward my theory that Don't Look Up will win nothing.
Yeah, it won't. It got nominated for stuff, and I think it should be glad it got nominated.
The thing is, the Academy do like it, like anecdotally at screenings and whatnot. Like Academy members do really seem to like it, but McKay not getting a director nomination, which we'll talk about later, is really telling for me. But yeah, anyway, you say Power of the Dog, I say Dune. It'll be interesting to see how that goes. Makeup and hairstyling.
Coming to America
is an Oscar nominee.
Yep.
We've also got Cruella, Dune, The Eyes of Tammy Faye, and House of Gucci. I kind of feel like The Eyes of Tammy Faye is going to get this, and I haven't seen it, but Cruella was doing some shit.
Yeah, the thing is, for makeup and hairstyling, I often think it's a little bit... It just seems to be the most standout makeup and hairstyling.
Yeah.
And that makes not that much sense to me in terms of for that. I do think there's a possibility that The Eyes of Tammy Faye will win it, but having seen The Eyes of Tammy Faye, I actually don't think it should.
Okay, yeah.
And
that seems to be the general thinking.
Yeah, not because the makeup and the hair is bad. It's because it's such a focus point of the film. It feels a little bit obvious. And spoiler for my thoughts on The Eyes of Tammy Faye, I think if you tone down the makeup and the hair a fraction, you'd have a better movie.
That's interesting. Okay.
It almost gets lost up in that a little bit.
But by the way, I think The Eyes of Tammy Faye, if I guarantee I'll watch that this week, do you want to do a full review next week?
Yeah, can do, yeah.
Yeah, okay, cool. Because otherwise it'd just be you talk about it and what we watched this week, I talk about it and what we watched next week.
That's it, and I'll be trying to not be spoilery, so I'll just say, I watched The Eyes of Tammy Faye. And then try and not say anything.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, okay. So what's your choice for the makeup and hairstyling?
Coming to America. I don't think it's going to win, but that's what I want to win, just because it'll be funny. I think weirdly, Cruella is going to win.
Yeah, so do I. Yeah. I would. Yeah, it'd be like, yeah, all right, fair enough. International feature: Drive My Car, Flea, The Hand of God, Lunana, A Yak in the Classroom, and The Worst Person in the World. So, the annoying thing about this for me is I know Drive My Car is going to win.
Yeah.
But I've seen Flea and The Worst Person in the World. They were both in my top 10 of the year. Drive My Car wasn't. So, if there's anything that does slightly grind my gears, it's... I think Flea is nominated for 3.
And it's not going to win one.
I think maybe doesn't win any. I think maybe Best Documentary, it's going to do it, but...
I think that's its best
we'll
chance.
See. Yeah, like, Drive My Car is a fucking behemoth in this one.
Yeah, Drive My Car's winning this, no problem.
But I don't even know why I haven't seen the new Sorrentino yet. That is just completely on me. And I will 100% watch a film called A Yak in the Classroom. So I'm not gonna hate. I'm not gonna hate my time watching films I don't think are gonna win.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm actually quite looking forward to Yak in the Classroom.
Yeah, absolutely. Did you watch Flea in the end?
I've not watched it yet, no, but I will be watching it. I'm actually quite looking forward to it because of the glowing reports I've heard about it.
Hell yeah. Oh yeah. Okay, film editing. Don't Look Up, Dune, King Richard, The Power of the Dog, and Tick Tick Boom making its first appearance.
Tick Tick Boom could get this.
No, I think it's going to be Dune.
But yeah, I think Dune is going to clear upon the technical awards.
And it's what that film does with like the kind of like the spice fucking trips that Paul has, and I think the quality of the editing there really does help there, and it puts you in his mind's eye. And I suppose it's a little bit unfair because is it just most noticeable editing?
I think
but Tick Tick Boom has that as well. I think.
Yeah, that's perfectly fair. Yeah, I think but I think again, like we said with visual effects, I think if the editing helps tell the story or helps become part of the story, then yeah, I'd agree with that. So I hadn't thought about that. Yeah, June. Yeah, good point.
Nice. Hell yeah. Okay, documentary feature. There's a couple here I don't know anything about, if I'm absolutely honest. So, Ascension, Attica, Flea, Summer of Soul, Writing with Fire. Now, Ascension, Attica, and Writing with Fire, I'm looking forward to watching them and like seeing what they are, like expanding my horizons. 100% up for that. I've got a feeling Summer of Soul might do it because people really like Summer of Soul, and I just feel so fucking bad for Flea that it could be the first film to ever get documentary, international, and animated nods and not get any of them. That feels wrong.
Which makes me think that Flea might win on this because of that. But yeah, I think it's between that and Summer of Soul. And isn't Questlove... I might have heard this wrong. Isn't Questlove doing the music for this year's Oscars?
He was like the DJ there last year.
Yeah.
So, do you remember that? Like, they did that fucking really weird, almost like halftime show thing where they had, it was an older actress doing Glenn Close.
Glenn Close, yeah.
And like they had her doing some sort of trivia quiz.
Yeah, and it ended up being a little bit embarrassing because it turned out it was rehearsed.
It was Lil Rel Howery was doing it with her, wasn't it? Yeah. God, that was weird. Yeah. Okay, so costume design, Cruella, Cyrano getting its one nomination. Good for you, Cyrano. I don't know, like Joe Wright directing a musical adaptation of Cyrano starring Peter Dinklage, and it just fucking disappears.
Yeah, do you know what? Thank fuck. Haven't seen it yet. We'll watch it, but just everything that you've just explained there made me go, God, I hope that fails. And I'm not about putting negativity out into the world anymore.
And I mean, and this, like, I do kind of feel, I haven't seen Cyrano yet, but it's like hearing that Joe Wright was basically like, no, we're making this film in lockdown and we're doing this now because I want to give people work. And it's like, you can't argue with that. It was well intentioned. I look forward to seeing the film, but yeah, one nomination, that feels like Universal done fucked up. They don't really have anything else either. I think Licorice Pizza was distributed by them, but I think it's more an MGM joint. So, but anyway, Cruella, Cyrano, Dune, Nightmare Alley, West Side Story. Cruella? No, how does it not?
Cruella. Now you see, this is where I think it's gonna get thrown sideways. I think Cruella, that's the one it should win, is costume. It's going to get best makeup and hairstyling, but it should win costume, but it isn't going to win costume.
What is?
I think it's between Dune and West Side Story.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
I don't think Cruella's going to win best costume, which makes no sense, but I just got a feeling.
Okay.
I think they're going to give it. I think they're going to give it best makeup and hairstyling.
Interesting.
When it really doesn't even have that much makeup and hairstyling, really.
Interesting. Right, we're getting through it. We're getting through it. Cinematography: Dune, Nightmare Alley, The Power of the Dog, The Tragedy of Macbeth, West Side Story. It would be fucking cool if the tragedy of Macbeth got this, but I think it's going to be the power of the dog.
It's going to be the power of the dog.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Animated. Encanto. 3. Yeah. Luca. The Mitchells versus the Machines. Raya and the Last Dragon. Very fucking cool that the Mitchells versus the Machines got in there.
Yes.
That's lovely. That's really cool. But yeah.
It's Encanto.
Yeah, it's Encanto, isn't it? Which is... it is literally the one out of those 5 I like the least.
Yep.
But it's going to be Encanto.
It's going to be Encanto.
Yeah. Okay. Actress in a supporting role.
Ooh.
Jessie Buckley. Fucking yes. Like, that, I literally went fuck yeah to myself as I was walking Kiki and listening to the nominations this afternoon. Very happy with that.
That one came out of nowhere, but then but it's very deserved.
Yeah, and it was really early. Actually, it might have been one of the first nominations.
I think it was like
fuck me, it's the
I think it was the first.
Do something here. Yeah. But yeah, Ariana DeBose, Judi Dench, Kirsten Dunst, Ingenue Ellis.
Right. I mean, we all know who's going to win this. It's going to be Ariana DeBose. Is going to win this. However, right, Judi Dench getting nominated ahead of Katrine Bath makes no sense. And Judi Dench is good in Belfast. I liked Belfast. Judi Dench is good in it. But that makes no sense. It just doesn't make any fucking sense whatsoever. And again, like Power of the Dog, don't love it. Don't think it's going to deserve all of what it gets, but don't begrudge it getting all it's going to get. I think Kirsten Dunst's actually a bit crap in it.
I think she's definitely the weak link out of the actors. Yeah, I'm a little surprised Cate Blanchett didn't get in for Don't Look Up, and I think it says something about how Don't Look Up is not that strong that she didn't. Because Dunst had been on the periphery a little bit.
Yeah, I was a little bit surprised Dunst got nominated for this. It seems like somebody
the
is.
fact that Balfe didn't get nominated as well, like as well as Dench.
Yeah, it seems like somebody really wanted to get Power of the Dog above like 10 nominations, and then they just fucking shot too far.
Yeah, I think that kind of says almost an actor in the supporting role as well. But we'll get to that. But I would love to see Jessie Buckley get it, but I don't. I don't think she's going to. It's going to be Ariana DeBose, and I think that's fine.
Yeah, I'm fine with that. But my pick out of those ones would be Jessie Buckley.
Yeah, agree. Actress in a leading role: Jessica Chastain for The Eyes of Tammy Faye, Olivia Colman for The Lost Daughter, Penelope Cruz for Parallel Mothers. Real surprise, that one. Nicole Kidman for Being the Ricardos, and Kristen Stewart getting in for Spencer. So, Being the Ricardos. If that got if Sorkin got nominated, or if it got Best Picture, I'd say Nicole Kidman was fucking nailed on. As it is, I think it might be Coleman.
I think it's going to be Coleman. Yeah. I think it's going to be Coleman. I think Stewart, she's... I just don't think there's the momentum there for it anymore, and I don't think she's likable enough. I'm not saying that's right, but I don't think within those circles she's particularly liked that well.
If there's a spoiler here, I think it's Cruz. I think it was.
She's already got one. And I just don't think it's strong enough.
What's that supporting for Vicky Cristina Barcelona?
Yeah.
But that was a long time ago,
no,
eh?
I think with her, I think that I think they've nominated her again, I think it's that just jumps out a little bit, that category, for me, as these are 5 popular actresses. Both.
Yeah, I don't know. It's
Kidman one seems. I haven't seen being the Ricardos, but the Kidman one seems a bit boring.
I like it. Again, I wouldn't begrudge it. I would rather see Coleman, Cruz, or Stewart win, but I like being the Ricardos more than it seems like most people around film Twitter do. And I think she's very good in it. But Jessica Chastain is going to be campaigning all over the place.
Yes, she will.
She is going to be attending every single fucking party, and don't count her out. Like I think this is actually pretty competitive. But if being the Ricardos was more popular among people other than actors, I think Kidman would be nailed on. But as it is, any one of them could potentially win depending on how the campaigning goes. I don't think it's going to be the power of the film. I think it's going to be the power of the campaign.
Yeah, I think it's going to be Coleman. I think Coleman's going to get it.
Fair. And I agree. Actor in a supporting role: Kieran Hines for Belfast, Troy Kotzer for Coda, Jesse Plemons for The Power of the Dog, J.K. Simmons for Being the Ricardos, Cody Smith-McPhee for The Power of the Dog. So, if The Power of the Dog can get 2 actors in a supporting role, but Belfast can't get 2 actresses in a supporting role, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Plemons is very, very lucky to be there.
Yeah.
I think. Good for him. And he and Dunst are going to have a lovely night out. What a date night that is, fucking hell. But yeah, the easy money is on Cody Smith-McPhee, but I again wonder if Coda could pull a spoiler here, and people do like Kieran Hines in Belfast.
Yes, they do. Yeah, and to be fair, he's really good in it.
Yeah,
he has a lot more to do than Judi Dench. I'll say that.
Cody Smith-McPhee.
It's going to be Cody Smith-McPhee.
It almost feels like it's probably going to be him, but he's going to have plenty of fucking chances in the future. You got a deaf actor and Kieran Hines. I don't know, like. It'd be cool to give it to one of them. But hey, maybe I'm saying that because I thought Cody Smith-McPhee was fine.
I am with you on that. And when people are going, "Oh, it's Cody Smith-McPhee, he's definitely got to win," it's like, but is he that good though?
Yeah.
And people go, "Oh, well, yeah, he gets over that awkwardness." Like, but isn't that just Cody Smith-McPhee?
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's a little bit. I don't know. I don't begrudge him winning it, but it just feels a little bit like. I've never seen a Cody Smith-McPhee performance where I've watched it and looked at it and thought that he's stretching himself in any way. Like that, this is a challenge. You could literally pick any of the characters up from any of his movies and drop them into a different movie, and I don't think they're that different.
It'd be like Caleb Landry Jones getting nominated for playing a meth dealer.
Yeah, it really would. Yeah, it would be that. It's you could pick up Caleb Landry Jones for a lot of his and drop them in, and the characters aren't that different. But again, Caleb Landry Jones is at least a fun and charismatic actor. Caleb Landry Jones looks like he'd be a fun pint. Whereas
he'd be a fucking terrifying pint.
I'd fucking love to go for a pint with him.
Imagine where that would lead.
Right? Yeah, but I would be up for that night. Whereas Cody Smith-McPhee, you'd sit down and go, "Wait, drink," and he'd go, "What do you want to drink?" And he'd go, "Can I have water?" You'd be like, fucking hell. It's like, yeah, fine. And then you go up to the water and kill Landry Jones and just crack 2 pills into it and go, "That's his water. Let's just fucking see where this goes." Like,
yeah,
this is gonna be fucking mental. This is.
Oh man, yeah, quite. Yeah, it's going to be Smith McPhee, but I haven't even seen Belfast, and it's like, give it Kieran Hines, that'll be fun.
Yeah.
Actor. Javier Bardem for being the Ricardos, Benedict Cumberbatch for The Power of the Dog, Andrew Garfield for Tick Tick Boom, Will Smith for King Richard, Denzel Washington for The Tragedy of Macbeth. I am very glad Andrew Garfield has a nomination. He's got no chance of winning, but I'm so fucking glad that he made it in that
I
fight.
think he might, you know.
It's a knife fight. It's a knife fight between Cumberbatch and Smith.
I think the air's got the Smith thing. I personally think it's between Garfield and Cumberbatch because I think Garfield can campaign like a motherfucker for this one.
Now Smith has that nomination, he is going to be all over the fucking place.
Yeah, but the thing with Smith is Smith's not as charismatic when he's being Will Smith being charismatic. He's charismatic when he's Will Smith as a Will Smith character being charismatic. You know, he's going to be there, pressing the flesh, shaking people's hand and going, do you know any people I fucked in this room? He's like, what? Yeah. We had some weird sex ones over there. Like, what? This is a school. It's going to be... it's going to be odd. Whereas Cumberbatch, I just don't think cares that much, which I think is quite cool.
No, I think that, yeah, and that's absolutely a fair point.
I think at some point, Cumberbatch is going to say that in some kind of thing, is going to say that he thinks Andrew Garfield should win it.
That would rule. I mean, the thing is, we've been quite critical of Benedict Cumberbatch in the past, but if
he wins it,
he's very, very good in The Power of the Dog.
Yep.
Like, really fucking good in The Power of the Dog. And B, he seems like a decent dude.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. In our pint thing, again, I think he'd be a great pint, but like not like a Caleb Landry Jones, like you're gonna wake up in Denmark with a fucking dead horse kind of good pint. But like it'd just be like he'd tell you some great stories, but he wouldn't try and own the room for you.
Yeah. I mean, look, if Andrew Garfield got it, I'll probably wake people up in the house from shouting.
I think he's going to get it. I've just got a feeling. I think he's going to be the one that gets it. And I think it's going to make everybody... I think he's going to get a weird, ovation because I think he's a lot more liked than people think.
Yeah. No Way Home really helped as well. So, but yeah. I will say, though, Javier Bardem is cracking in being the Ricardo. So I'm surprised he got in there, but he's good. He's not going to win, but he's good.
No, he's not going to win because he's too busy telling people that his childhood crush was E.T.
Yeah, I mean, that was fucking weird.
He is like he's going into interviews going, what can I say that makes me look skeezy?
I don't know. I respect how fucking wild that is, though. But so Javier Bardem, love to see him about. Denzel, cracking. He's good in Tragedy of Macbeth. We were okay on that film, but
right. That's the one I fucking love Denzel. To get out there, that's the one that feels like he's been nominated because it's Denzel Washington playing Macbeth. Not because it's a great performance. It's just Denzel Washington doing Macbeth. There's just nothing...
There are more interesting things about that adaptation of Macbeth than any of the acting.
Yeah.
That's fair.
It's a wasted nomination.
I don't know, because it kind of feels like, okay, well, who was going to be like next then? DiCaprio for Don't Look Up?
Again, would have been a wasted nomination.
Yeah, that's the thing. I don't know. I think it's interesting. The thing is, Denzel's going to do fuck all of the awards circuit as well,
because he knows he's not going to win, and I don't think he's that bothered. Just give it to fucking Craig. No. Never would, Jim. They should give it to Craig.
I wouldn't begrudge that.
I wouldn't
begrudge that. I tell you what, the lead guy from Worst Person in the World, the for those who've seen it, the first boyfriend she has, I wouldn't have begrudged that. He's got one of the great film monologues.
I've seen a lot of people talking about how fucking great he is in that.
I think I've thought about that monologue every fucking day since watching that film.
I'm very much looking forward to catching that film.
Like, you fucking need to get Worst Person in the World watched, I tell you what. Like, yeah. Anyway, directing. I've got 2 more to go, thank God, because I need to pee like a motherfucker.
It's Jane Campion.
Yeah, it's Jane Campion. Yeah, so it's Belfast, Drive My Car, Licorice Pizza, The Power of the Dog, West Side Story. It is Jane Campion. It is fucking locks.
It's locked, yeah. Abso-fucking-lutely. Don't begrudge Jane Campion winning a Academy Award for Best Director.
No, straight up.
And don't begrudge her winning an Academy Award for Best Director for this film.
No, quite. Good film. Good movie.
But yeah.
I think I will watch it again before the Oscars.
I think I probably will actually,
Yeah. Okay, Best Picture. Belfast, Coda, Don't Look Up, Drive My Car, Dune, King Richard, Licorice Pizza, Nightmare Alley, The Power of the Dog, West Side Story. You see, this is the thing. I am really surprised how few times I've said Don't Look Up.
I'm not. I think it was good. It was fun. It's like that. I don't think it was ever going to be a. I'm surprised it got as many as it did. It's not that.
Okay, fair enough.
It's a decent film. It's not that good. It's good. It's not that good. Should be nominated for Best Picture.
I am surprised Nightmare Alley made it.
Yep.
But it is a well admired film, and you know I like it. And to be honest, thinking back on our review, I think I like it more than I expressed in the review, if I'm absolutely honest. But I think it's got major problems, and you know, if I'm gonna fucking stand for something, I think Tick Tick Boom or The Lost Daughter would have been more worthy of a slot than Nightmare Alley.
Tick Tick Boom, The Last Daughter.
To be fair, I would have said more worthy to Drive My Car as well. But,
yeah, Tick Tick Boom, Last Daughter. Again, I'm gonna fucking say it, but they opened up Best Picture to 10 films, right?
Yeah, okay. I think I know what you're
going
to
say.
Right, yeah.
So that they could have a broader scale of films, because it was getting boring. Yeah. Because if this was 5 movies, it would be Power of the Dog, West Side Story, Licorice Pizza, King Richard, and maybe Belfast.
Dune? Oh, Belfast. Yeah, you're right.
And that's what it would have been. And that would have been fine, but it would have been a bit boring. And it you know, it doesn't acknowledge... This is the thing that the Oscars don't matter. We've said this already. But this is the thing, that it opened it up, but the problem is there's still a gatekeepery element to this, in the sense that that they're deciding what is worthy of being celebrated. So the reason why I think that, for instance, something like Spider-Man No Way Home, or whatever it was, I can forget which one it is.
Time to Die. What are you thinking?
Hello?
Yeah.
Or No Time to Die. There. You know, these...
Yeah.
People will scoff at the idea of, well, you can't do that. You know, it's a Bond movie. You can't do that. It's a Spider-Man movie. Right. But there's a couple of things there. One, why? They're both really good movies. One of them was both our favourite movie of last year. But for some reason, it's like they're pre-discounted from Celebration because they're popular? How does that make sense? You know, I suppose it baffles me. And what they do is they give them these technical nominations and awards just to kind of keep it in the background, so they can say, well, we are celebrating them, but there's this. Well no. Fuck off. You know, there's an element to film that they're not taking on board, in the sense that you're Drive My Car, and I feel like we're bashing Drive My Car, a film I haven't even seen, the film that you enjoyed. But that's because critics liked it. You can't say it's because audiences liked it or anything like that. And yeah, they're discounting the fact that audiences liked it. They're saying, well, whether the audience like it or not doesn't matter, it's on the quality of the film. But Drive My Car's getting nominated because critics fucking loved it. There's an element of it that is just still a little bit like kind of I'd say move with the times, but it isn't, because popular big movies when in the Oscars in the fucking 50s and the 40s used to get nominated, and now they don't.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. It's an oddity, and it's a snobbery that still hasn't been chipped away, that nobody talks about because they don't want to make it seem like they're the uncultured guy in the fucking room. Should, for instance, No Time to Die win Best Picture? Probably not. Maybe, because do I think if you threw No Time to Die in there, I'd be saying it's a better movie than the fucking rest of them.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's difficult, but I like I said earlier, I don't have a problem with Drive My Car being there because of what it kind of represents, which is like being prepared to look further afield and whatnot. But there's also that push-pull of, but you're also not acknowledging what are actually the most popular films of the year. And it does have that kind of air of, okay, well, here's what the shit munchers enjoyed. And and I think that's unfair. Like, the whole expanding out past, 5 was basically a reaction to The Dark Knight and WALL-E not getting Best Picture nominees.
But then they've not done what the idea of it was to do.
No, I mean, I think the closest you got was Black Panther. Which is mad, because there's a lot to that film where it's like, really? But there's an awful lot of that film that's like, okay, I get it. It was kind of like that captured a moment very, very well.
It was a cultural moment, and that's why it got nominated, and a perfectly fucking reasonable thing.
Yeah, quite. But yeah, it's, if you're looking at popular films, like Don't Look Up was watched by an absolute fuck ton of people over Christmas. Dune did really well. The Power of the Dog was a massive hit on Netflix. That's the thing. Many more people have seen The Power of the Dog than have seen West Side Story or Nightmare Alley, Licorice Pizza, like any of them, apart from maybe Dune.
Yep.
And
it's right. However, and this is where the thing that gets in there. Power of the Dog is not a Netflix movie and wasn't on Netflix. Wasn't on a streaming service. It was released in the same way as, I'm trying to think of a comparable movie. But just it released in the conventional way. That movie doesn't get...
Like a Licorice Pizza, where it gets like a platform release and then kind of plays cities, and that's about it.
That's it. Right? Still will get all the nominations and everything like that, but nowhere near. I would say... I'd be generous in saying 10 to 15% of the people would have seen it.
Well, yeah. But, we live in a world where Netflix have done well to promote it. And I mean, like, Netflix do an awful lot to bury shit, but at the same time, The Power of the Dog was a big hit. I suppose what I'm trying to say is, not as many people have seen The Power of the Dog as they have Spider-Man. But at the same time, many more people have seen The Power of the Dog, which is a 2-hour psychosexual western directed by Jane Campion.
What I'm meaning there is fucking fair play, Netflix. They released that big. They didn't release it as one of the other movies they had that week. They went, fuck it, we're going for this. This is a movie we want people to know about.
I don't know, it's interesting, and I think Netflix, if Netflix have their first Best Picture win and it's for The Power of the Dog, I hope that encourages streamers to put their money into films like The Power of the Dog. You know, and it's like Nightmare Alley bombed at the box office. I hope that now it's available on HBO Max and Hulu in the US, that this nomination is going to make more people watch Nightmare Alley. You know, like, I hope that all these films are signal boosted. And I mean that for, like, all of them.
Yeah.
But also, to be fair, Belfast, right? Belfast has done £9 million in the UK. That's huge. It's already beat West Side Story. It's only been out for a couple of weeks. You know, it's gonna do double digits over here, which is the equivalent of a film in the US grossing over $100 million.
Yeah.
You know, so the Oscars continue to be a general force for good for me with these nominations. 3 of them are sight unseen, but so far I don't begrudge in any of them. I'm sad, like I say, I'm sad Lost Daughter, Tick Tick Boom, No Time to Die didn't make it, but I'm fine, and I think The Power of the Dog would be a perfectly fine winner for Best Picture. A little bit boring, don't get me wrong,
yeah, it's a little
in
bit
terms
boring.
of we know it's going to win, and there's not really much excitement to the whole like process, but I don't know. Jane Campion having that kind of success, good on her.
Yeah, that
you can't fault it.
That's it. Yeah. So I'm all right with that. But yeah, Power of the Dog is going to win it.
And do you know what? It makes me more look forward to Coda. Like, seeing these nominations, I'm like, yeah, do you know what? Maybe it's not going to be the vegetables I thought it was.
Yeah, and apparently it's very much not. I was talking to somebody who watched it the other day and was saying it's surprisingly quite funny.
Yeah, there you go. I'll take that. You know, so yeah, exactly. And hey, next year, Netflix have got the new Fincher, Apple have got the new Scorsese.
Yep.
Let's fucking go.
That's...
and you know, I mean, Coogler should be back with Wakanda Forever. Let's see if that can do anything.
I have a feeling that's going to be the first movie Apple are going to go huge on.
Yeah, agree. So that was over an hour.
Yeah.
On the Oscars. So, do we want to maybe skip trailers and get straight to the reviews?
They're not working anywhere.
Lightyear.
Yeah.
Looks alright.
Looks fine.
There you go.
Have you ever wondered what so-called family films will scar your kids forever?
Putting 4 or 5-year-olds in front of this movie, it's like, if they didn't know what death was before this, they're going to know it after it.
They're going to know it after it, and they're going to be freaking terrified.
And they're going to be questioning you.
Yeah.
Or do you have the slight suspicion that your loved one has a cold, dead heart?
Yeah, The Dark Knight has got like all the orphans, and like, oh no, we're going to die. They did not build up those orphans at all. In my head, it's like, kill them.
Then look no further. The His Film Her Movie podcast is the show for you. It's the movie podcast that celebrates the contrasting cinematic tastes of its hosts. So join Jordan and Lauren every week on their unique journey through the land of the silver screen. So if you're looking for a few laughs, some fun film related chat, then get involved. You can find us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, or wherever you get your podcasts.
Hey Hannah, you know, I think you really can't beat a good rewatch of a TV show. Would you agree with that, love?
Oh, yes, I would.
Marvel's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
I think during, you know, global pandemics, storms, all of these things, it's quite nice to just sit down and burn through something that you've seen a million times.
Absolutely, nothing like a binge watch.
Star Trek.
Babylon 5.
Because you could sit there for hours looking at serial killer documentaries.
Absolutely. That doesn't make you a weird person at all.
It doesn't. Yeah, you could watch documentaries that all seem to be about women killing men.
Love you, darling.
You could put off watching Daredevil for the 30th time.
Harry Potter.
But really, you can't beat immersing yourself in the warm jumper of a rewatch of a show or a franchise.
Beloved franchise.
A beloved franchise.
Lord of the Rings.
Twin Peaks. From VHS compilations recorded off television with the ad breaks, cut out of course, to DVD box sets of Sex and the City and, I don't know, Smallville.
Farscape.
Quantum Leap. To giving up finding new content on Netflix and just having a comfort trawl through Star Trek The Next Generation or Parks and Recreation. I think that we can all agree.
There's a lot to be said for that.
You can't beat a good rewatch. So, with that in mind, join
Anna
and Mike from Chinstroker vs. Punter as we burn through some of our favourite franchises and share our immediate reactions to each instalment in both spoiler and non-spoiler sections. To do that, do a search for the Rewatch Project with Hannah and Mike on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or whichever your favourite podcast provider may be, or go directly to anchor.fm/rewatch project. We are proud members of the Pod Syndicate family of podcasts.
Gee, didn't set myself up for failure on this one.
Aaron, please relax.
A bear?
That was Knoxville's idea. Dude. That was not my idea.
Aaron, it was great footage.
I got to get out of this thing somehow. And you're putting honey on me. And salmon?
Yeah.
What are you doing?
Yeah, right. Let's review a movie.
Fuck yeah. Even I gotta say, I really fucking enjoyed that.
Yes, oh no, I did as well, yeah.
Right.
I hope listeners did as well.
Yeah.
I think they will do, because I think
absolutely.
That was a good, I enjoyed that, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Right, nice one.
Jackass Forever is written by...
Yeah, we're reviewing that. From the sublime to the ridiculous.
It's written by a bunch of fucking mad cunts. And stars, the people that you expect it to star. So you've got, John Knoxville's there, Steve-O's there, Wee Man's there, Chris Pontius is there, Dev England's there, Danger Aaron's there more than in any other of the movies.
Yeah,
Preston Lacey.
He drew the fucking short straw on this one.
Yeah. And you've got some new people in there as well, and a few sort of
Boobies.
famous faces. There's not much to say about Jackass Forever other than it's a fourth Jackass movie. That's kind of...
I think we might make some time back with this one, Mark.
There's a possibility we might, So, Ian, was there a worry going at this that it was a bit like, right, it was funny when it was a bunch of, like, early, mid-20s idiots being idiots? And then the last one was like 10 years ago, and at that point you already thought, right, these guys are in their mid-30s now. It's getting a little bit like, should you guys really be doing this? Was there a point now where you were like, am I about to watch this just going, you guys really shouldn't be doing this anymore?
I'll be honest, no. You got the Silver Fox, Johnny Knoxville, just absolutely still bossing it with what he's doing. Steve-O seems as up for it as ever. Like, it just feels like they're winding back the years. It feels alive. It feels celebratory. It's funny. I mean, just to maybe further cut back some time, most of what we were watching this week was the 3 other Jackass films, and I don't think it's quite got the highs of those, and just like the fucking puerile shit that makes me laugh, like the butt chug from, I think, number 2. is maybe one of the funniest things I've ever seen. And most specifically when they have to plunger his arse to like make it all pour out. So yeah, I mean, it's maybe not got that, but the Silence of the Lambs skit is incredible. Every single thing about that is incredible.
What kind of makes that, with the exception of you've got Pontius just fucking doing Buffalo Bill in the corner, even though nobody can see him, he can't see anybody's reaction to it, is brilliant. But it's when they get into the other room.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, like that. The bigger guy, bless him, when he's he's jumping over that thing, and he just gets what are they, like mouse traps or whatever?
Mouse traps and thumbtacks.
Yeah, that was him, thumbtacks, and it bless him. It's there's just such simple fucking sniggering joy that comes from all of that, and what I think helps compared to Jackass 3 as well is you watch Jackass 3, there's a lot of slow-mo, there's a lot of stuff that's obviously for 3D.
Yeah.
Like, the title sequence of Jackass 3 is just it's a bunch of meh stuff, but it's slowed down, it's supposed to look impressive in 3D. Not great. Do you know what's great? Dressing up Pontius's dick as a Godzilla and just having it fucking romp around. And then having a fucking, what is it, like a scorpion or something go at it at the end.
A turtle, like a mini turtle, isn't it? It's a mini sea turtle.
Oh, turtle. Sorry, it's a turtle. There's so many different animals in these things. Sorry. That's that turtle. It just, fantastic. I honestly, I don't think I've got much more to say other than I think the new guys were good. I thought Poopies was going to be annoying when he first came on, but he won me over. And I would be more than happy to watch a series with the new guys and maybe a couple of the older guys doing stuff every now and then. It's a win. I think it's probably tying for my least favourite with Jackass 3D, but I really, really like them all, so that's not faint praise.
Yeah, it's actually my second favourite.
Nice, fair play. Yeah. What's your favourite?
Jackass, the first one's the best one for me.
Okay. Right.
Yeah, I agree with you. I don't think there's any bit of it that is as high as any singular bit that any of the others have.
Sure.
So, there are really sort of high points within, number one, I think from start to finish is pretty much there.
I mean, the butt X-ray is just incredible.
Yeah.
The butt X-ray, that doctor's reaction and whatnot, the hidden camera stuff with that is amazing.
Yeah, I think... personally, I wasn't too much of a fan of number two. I thought they did a little bit too much of let's dress people up as old people thing in that, and it was a little bit annoying.
There is quite a lot of that. Yeah, you're right.
But stuff like just in this, I think almost all of the stunts are a good, healthy level of chuckle to them. And the fucking cup test was just beautiful. It kept on going to different places.
How long that actually goes on for was something. And just that ice hockey player who just seems to hate Aaron, and he's running at him with the stick, and he's like, "I'm gonna fuck you up, Aaron," before he fucking hits him.
It's before he's even come out, he just shouts, "I'm gonna kill you."
Yeah, that's
and everybody's
right.
What the fuck?
Oh, man. No, I mean, he was really into it. And that's the thing, is, the participants have all obviously grown up on Jackass, and are just I'm in Jackass, this is fucking amazing.
Yep.
One slight criticism I do have, they brought on one woman, and she, It's the fact that she's barely even in the audience for the ones that she's not in. It's like they just wheeled her in to do the ones that she's in and then wheel her out. And I felt bad about that. She doesn't feel like she's part of the crew.
No, Pontius got asked about this on a podcast, I believe. And he sort of said, the problem is, a lot of our stunts are a little bit gross. He said, so it's one thing getting, it's one thing getting two fucking dildos and dressing them up like with boxing gloves and making them punch Preston in the ball sack, or a B fucking cup for Steve-O. He said, you can't. It would look fucking creepy as fuck. A bunch of mid-40s guys wanting to do stuff to a girl.
No, I don't buy that. I don't buy that.
What, really? Do you not think, like,
no?
What could they have done?
But no, I mean, I'm not necessarily saying the actual stunts doing them on her, but her just being around.
I think she's around for quite a few of them. Watching them,
there's a lot of them where she's not there, and I don't know. It didn't feel to me like she was much a part of the gang as the other new cast members were.
No, but I just think that maybe it's just because she's probably a little bit too smart to fucking throw herself down a fucking ramp covered in lube.
No, but I don't know. Is it just that inherently male then? I don't know. I just there's plenty of women who laugh at Jackass. I mean, don't get me wrong, Donna doesn't, but and obviously Becky made very clear she wasn't interested in seeing it. So I don't know, but I mean I feel like I don't know. I feel like if they were gonna do that little with her, just don't have her in there because it makes it more conspicuous to just have a token woman who is there for a bit of it.
I can see I can see the idea with that of just not having her, but then there's another bit there. There's a possibility that there was more that they did with it, and they were just crap.
Maybe, yeah, but maybe
because there's one of the end credits that's her. That's actually that I laughed at quite a bit.
Yeah, and I don't know. Also, I will be honest. I was playing a bit of Spot the Bam because I knew he was in it for one scene, one.
Yeah, he's in the marching band one.
Yeah, when they're on they march onto the treadmill. Yeah,
that's it.
So that must have been one of the first ones they recorded.
Yeah. The weird thing is, you can basically tell what was recorded before COVID and what was recorded after COVID, because what was recorded before COVID, Knoxville's got his hair dyed, and what's recorded after COVID, he's back to his natural hair colour.
Yeah, quite. And it's I don't know. It's one of those that kind of growing number, but it feels like it will be limited. Thankfully, limited number of films. That is obviously a COVID era film. But it's an interesting document, and it the whole. Do they say it in the film where it's just we're doing all this health and safety stuff? It's we're being really safe with all the COVID. We're still going to blow someone up in a toilet.
Yeah, it's we've got enough going on, and we've got all this health and safety stuff on, but you can't even go to the toilet without getting blown up.
Yeah. No,
it very much seems like they had an awful lot of fun making this. As a collective,
and I mean,
of the guys, and a lot of it seems to have been shot at one of their houses.
Yeah. good on them for doing it. And Knoxville's insisted that this is his last one. And the thing is, if they were to do any more, I'd be fine with him not doing the stunts, but just like being the grand poobah.
He's commented on that though as well. I think in a GQ interview, where they said, well, couldn't you just do that and that? And he went, no. He said, because the problem is, at some point somebody would turn around to me and say, oh, do you fancy doing this? He said, and I won't say no. I'll just go, oh, okay, yeah. He said, but if we made another one in 3 years' time, I'm in my 50s then. Yeah. He said, and that's the problem. He said, I have to be away from this so I don't do it, because they will literally go, oh, we're going to need to shot at this cannon. Do you fancy doing it, Knoxville? And I'll go, yeah, why not? He said, I can't not. And that's the thing. He said, so that's why this has to be the last of it.
Okay. Fair
and as well, it didn't feel like they were coming back for a cash cow. It seems like, with the exception of one of them, that they're all doing all right.
Yeah. Quite. To be fair, if any one of them was gonna not be in it, I'm kind of glad it was Bam anyway.
Yeah.
So, I like the rest of the cast.
Yeah, I've never got on with Bam. I think I said it in the group chat. He was the one who always felt like he was doing it in a nasty way.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is with Bam, he's either doing skateboardy stuff or he's terrorizing his parents. He doesn't get that in. If there's group ones that involve physical damage to themselves, then he's doing it, but he's never really putting himself out there singularly.
I don't think Bam without Ryan Dunn works.
Yeah, and I mean, there is that as well. It's a nice little tribute to Ryan Dunn at the end as well. I'm glad they did that.
The fucking musical chairs bit there where fucking Wee Man flips over the back of the chair for no reason.
And then that shit's all down there, and they're like, "Oh shit! Wow!"
The mad thing is, this movie will make a really big chunk of money, and it costs nothing to make.
Yeah.
Fucking the movie. There's a bit in it where they've literally got flip-flops tied to what looks like rowing machines parts. That hit people in the crotch that looks like it really fucking hurts.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Yeah.
No, I mean, I think apparently it cost 20 million, but I think a lot of that was probably COVID safety protocol stuff.
I read 10 million it cost.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay. Maybe I got that wrong. But yeah, and yeah, I good on them. They did it. It's still funny.
Yep. It's still funny. It still lands. Yeah. Fair enough.
Oh, and Dick House is low key one of the great production company logos.
Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah.
The rainbow, the chicken, perfect.
Yeah. Spot on. So, have you got any what you've been watching other than the Jackasses?
What was the Twitter poll?
Oh,
they're definitely not shit. And what was the Twitter poll?
Oh god, yeah, definitely not shit. Been thrown off. Let me have a double check on this. Let's have a look. Where are we? Come on, Twitter. Definitely not shit. 92%. And shit 8%. What I will say there is, if you have gone into Jackass, right, to watch the Jackass movie, and you have not enjoyed it, why did you go?
Yeah.
This is the fourth, and I did 3 series. You know what you're going for. If you went to see it and you didn't enjoy it, I would be baffled as to why the fuck you went in the first place. What I will say is, there was maybe 20 odd people in my audience, and there was a massive amount of enjoyment. Including one girl who really, really fucking enjoyed it.
Oh, really? Like, really enjoyed it.
You know when they say about the pigs produce the most semen of any, what is it? When it came out and they showed they can produce whatever it is per time, she turned around to her boyfriend and went, "That's way more than you." Which kind of made everybody in the cinema turn around and look at them, and he just kind of went, "Thanks, Claire."
Bloody hell.
Yep, hearty chuckle fest.
That's good. Fucking hell. So, yeah, I've only got one other what I watched. The Mighty Sing 2.
Oh, yes. With the weirdest fucking soundtrack.
Yeah, so, sequel to Sing, written and directed again by Garth Jennings. Writer-director of Son of Rambo and The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. He's made himself a little niche making these films, and fair play to him. So, the first Sing was a perfectly...
he did that. I did not know he did these.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Wow. Fair
He's
play.
like the creative force behind them. Yeah. So the first one is just like a fun enough talent show thing, with loads of these animals coming together for this talent show, hosted by a koala, voiced by Matthew McConaughey, who's kind of making up a bunch of shit. They find success at the end of the first one, and this one starts with them putting on a production of Alice in Wonderland, where Let's Go Crazy from the Purple Rain soundtracks their production, which is great. I'll be honest, it's brilliant. So they are... There's a talent scout there, and she says to Buster Moon, this is a nice show, it's a cute show for kids, but that's about all it is. And he wants to do more. One of the pigs in his crew, voiced by Nick Kroll, wants to put on a sci-fi musical spectacular, and they get the chance to do that in a Las Vegas-like place, where they are given the chance to do that as long as they can lure Cab Calloway, a lion who has retired from the music scene after the loss of his wife, to perform in the show. The lion is voiced by Bono, and the songs that he has become famous for in the world of Sing are all U2 songs. So, it is a bit like a dream after eating too many Smarties is Sing 2, but in a perfectly enjoyable way. It don't get me wrong, it's not a banger. I'm not annoyed that it didn't make the best animated feature nominations, but the kids in the fucking audience were rapt. The songs of U2 seem to speak to children. Lottie was well in. A kid behind us was literally gripping the back of Lottie's seat, basically stood up, pulling himself in, just staring at the screen, while oh god, it's not Stuck in a Moment. That song plays earlier. Only to be with you. I still haven't found what I'm looking for.
Yeah, but Streets of No Name.
Playing. Hang on. So is it called The Streets?
Where the Streets Have No Name?
No Name? Or, yeah, that always gets me. So it's
Yep.
not called I Still Haven't Found What I'm Looking For. Yeah. Anyway, that kid, like, but it wasn't just this kid. All the kids were like really into it. But it's, like I say, it's got Prince. It's got a couple of Taylor Swift songs, but from the album that people don't like, Reputation, which I respect. It's got a Mercury Rev song at one point.
Yeah, it's got Holes by Mercury Rev in there.
Yeah, and it actually makes sense for the moment that it's in. System of a Down at one moment. And, yeah, I mean, it's a film that just seems to love music and love colour and wants to be fun. And I definitely remembered it a lot more than I did the first one. I enjoyed it more than I remember enjoying the first one. And, you know, fair play to it. It's a hit. It's doing well. It's the second highest grossing animated film of the pandemic era, behind something. In the UK, just behind Peter Rabbit 2. In the US, it's done over $100 million. You know, it's a hit, and you know, fair play. It's a charming time. It's not going to change the world, but if you've got kids, you'll have a decent couple of hours.
Yeah, budget 85 million, gross just shy of 300 million.
Yeah, and you know, it's going to continue on and do more. You know, it's profitable and good. You know, good on Garth Jennings, because it feels like, so you're doing a jukebox musical with a bunch of cute animals. That's cynical as fuck. Nah, do you know what? No, it's not. It feels like it's actually got some soul. Fair enough. You know.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah. I can't say any fairer than that, to be honest.
Or was that?
But yeah, that's me.
you, right?
I'm gonna have a fuckload more to talk about next week. Jesus.
Well, I've got a couple. So I watched The Eye to Tell Me Fair, but we'll discuss that next week.
Sure.
Watched Jackass number 2. But we kind of spoke about the Jackass movies. So yeah. Probably my least favourite of the Jackass movies, but I still really like it, if that makes any sense.
I like the seesaw while the bull is going through them all.
Yeah, I think
I enjoy that.
I didn't watch number 1. I didn't watch number 3 because I watched them last year, but I missed out number 2 for some reason. I think number 1, number 3 were on streaming services, and number 2 at the time wasn't for some reason. So I watched 1 and 3 fairly recently. But what I would say is, having watched them all quite closely together, it does make you realise how much of like the fucking driving force behind the whole fucking thing that Knoxville really is. Like, he does all like he isn't just there to kind of like get the other people to do this shit and then just laugh at it. He will fucking throw himself in front of anything, and he's often the one going, "No, let's do this." Like that fucking mine thing in number 2. That's him, Bam, and Ryan Dunn, that is used outside like embassies, and they show it like hitting a target, and they're like, "Fuck no!" And he's like, "No, it's fine. I mean, it's gonna really fucking hurt, but it's fine."
Yeah.
Like, no, and then it goes off, and they're like, "Why are we doing this?"
I will say, I think it's got the best opening sequence of them as well. I think the number 1 is strong, but I like how fucking anarchic them just running from bulls is.
Yeah. It's up there as level with 1. I do like just a big fucking shopping cart element of number 1. That's fair. It's great. Just the simplicity of it is beautiful. What else did I watch? I watched The Amazing Spider-Man and The Amazing Spider-Man 2.
Yeah, I watched Amazing Spider-Man before No Way Home, and I didn't get round to 2. I'm intrigued, actually, because I know we liked 2 when we reviewed it.
That's it.
How's that landed?
It's an odd one, in the sense that it's a lot more cartoony than I remember it being. Like Jimmy Foxx's Electro is quite basic. There's no subtlety to his character. And then you've got Dane DeHaan's is a little bit more. There's more motive to that. You know, Jimmy Foxx's character is literally just nobody notices me, nobody pays attention to me. Oh, look, I'm Electro. Everybody's looking at me, and that is quite literally how basic it is. But the interestingness of it is the I know some people don't like Garfield as Spider-Man, and I can see why. But I think he's quite a good Spider-Man, but not a great Peter Parker, because you look at him going, yes, that man's in his late 20s.
Yeah, I mean, he's got the quippiness down, and he's just, you know, I mean, I talked about the Raimi Spider-Mans before before No Way Home, and they have not aged well at all. The Andrew Garfield in the first one has aged a lot better than I think Maguire has.
Oh yes, yeah, without question. I would go back to The Amazing Spider-Man 2, but I enjoyed watching it, but it did make me go, right, yeah, I don't think I'll ever be watching either of these movies again. I think I've served my time with them. I don't need to go back and rewatch them again. It just about kept my attention enough for it. But there is a little bit too much, even in The Amazing Spider-Man 2, of him swinging between things. And it's a bit like, yeah, he's Spider-Man. We know that he swings between things.
Yeah.
Do we need to see more of it? So there was a little bit of that to it. So does it hold up, and is it still entertaining? Yes. Will I ever watch it again? Probably not. But then, you know, sure, in 3 years' time, no doubt I'll have watched it again.
Yeah, I could see that, just one that you get the itch for.
Yeah.
And, you know, if that fucking fan campaign to get an Amazing Spider-Man 3 ever picks up steam, then there'll be a good excuse to watch it again.
Yeah, I hope it doesn't.
And it won't. Like, Garfield's, like, surprisingly nearly in his 40s, and he just doesn't need to.
Yeah, that's it. He very much doesn't need to. Yeah. So I think he's Andrew Garfield's going to be just fine.
Yeah, straight up he is. Yeah.
We rewatched Red Lights.
Shit.
Yeah.
Good. I like Red Lights.
Yeah, I liked Red Lights.
You liked Red Lights?
I liked Red Lights.
Oh no, really?
The thing about Red Lights is, right, so it stars Cillian Murphy, Sigourney Weaver, Robert De Niro, Toby Jones, Jolie Richardson, and Elizabeth Olsen. That's a good cast.
A great cast.
You know, there's no getting away from it. That's a good cast. And it's an intriguing film. And it gets you, and it works until you get to the ending, where it's like they couldn't think of a way to end it, and then went, no, this'll work, and then filmed it all, and then everybody went, it don't work. And I've gone, I know it doesn't work, but literally, we have to send this to them tomorrow. And they've gone, shit. The ending makes no fucking sense. Because it literally is... Right, so the ending is... Spoiler alert for a fucking 10-year-old movie. Is that Cillian Murphy's character is psychic. And he literally tells you
so like
a couple of times during the
and
movie.
it kind of starts off that he's faking all this stuff, but then it actually turns out that he actually is. Is that right?
Yep. So he literally tells you a few times where there's one bit where Elizabeth Olsen's character says, "How did you know that?" And he goes, "Because I'm psychic." And you think it's a joke, but he does it a couple of times, right? But if he's psychic and he can do all of these things, why doesn't he know that De Niro's character is faking? Why can he get outsmarted by the tricks that De Niro's character is doing? It doesn't make sense of it. And yeah, the ending just is daft by the end of it, which is really disappointing because had it just been a little bit more polished, a little bit more well thought out, you could have had a really good ending of Cillian Murphy's character essentially coming out and confronting De Niro's character on stage and essentially outing him as the fraud that he's worked out he is in front of everybody. And it isn't. In the end, what he does is he stands there, gets angry, the whole room fucking shakes, the roof falls in, with De Niro just stood there shouting, "How are you doing this?" And then Cillian Murphy basically wanders off and shrugs his shoulders and almost says, "I don't know."
Yeah.
But he is supposed to know.
Well, fuck you for ruining my memory of that film.
It's just... I watched it and thought, have I watched like a different cut of this movie? Because I don't remember it being this daft.
Sure.
And then my final one, before we get into our second feature review, is rewatch Quiz Show. Excuse me, I've got an itch on my nose. Rewatch Quiz Show, a movie I've not watched since Laserdisc.
Wow, weird.
Yeah.
Okay.
Have you ever seen Quiz Show?
Like, back in the day, I couldn't tell you a thing about it.
Yeah. Well, the film I remembered was really good, and the film is really good, by the way. But the film I remembered is that the way that I remembered it is that you've got these two sort of characters on this quiz show who are winning and winning and winning, and then eventually it gets to the point of where the producers decide that they need to sort of have a bit more control over it and then offer them, you know, the answers and bits like that. And so that happened towards like the middle of the movie, and so the first half of the movie was the build up, then the middle was that happening, and then the end of it was the fallout of that. Nope, literally within 5 minutes of the fucking movie starting, you find out that they're basically trying to get people to cheat and that they control the whole fucking thing. So it was a little bit of a different movie than I remembered, because, you know, it was like 27 years ago since I fucking watched it. It's a really good, like, not quite thriller, but like fun Hollywood drama. Is I will say that, with sort of good early performances from Ralph Fiennes and John Turturro. Rob Morrow is actually the kind of like the hero of the piece. He's really good in it, and fun little turn from Scorsese as well in an acting role that you don't often get. He's really quite fun in that. Like, to the point where Becky went, "Hang a minute, isn't that my Scorsese?" It's like, it is. She's like, "Oh, okay, cool." It's like, yeah, it is quite cool.
I'll tell you, one project that I've got for myself for the year is a full rewatch of Scorsese.
All of Scorsese's back catalogue.
I'm gonna do it.
There's some fucking deep dive.
I'm not suggesting anything for the show because that's a commitment. But I'm saying I'm gonna do that.
When are you starting it?
I don't know. I haven't plotted it out yet.
Are you starting after Dumb Man?
I would have thought so. Yeah.
Yeah, I could get behind that.
What the fuck? No, I wasn't saying that to, like, commit to a fucking Patreon. Like, we've got enough to be getting on with the Patreon.
I'll get behind that.
Maybe we put it out to a vote or something. I don't know.
I could do that. I'm just looking at it and going, there's a lot of really good watching there.
Yeah.
There is. For a long time since I watched Who's That Knocking at My Door as well.
Yeah, and I feel like even the ones that I've only watched once because I'm like not that bothered about them. It's like I could probably go for another crack at it now.
I'm actually looking at it and going, they're in a fucking dud there.
What's his first?
Who's That Knocking at My Door?
It is that. Who's That Knocking at My Door? And then how does it run?
Who's That Knocking at My Door?
Yeah.
And then it goes Boxcar Bertha.
Yeah.
We're just doing feature films. We're not including documentaries in here as well.
Yeah, sure. Let's not be completely insane.
Yes, it goes Who's That Knocking at My Door? Boxcar Bertha.
Yeah.
Mean Streets.
Yeah.
Alice Doesn't Live Here Anymore. Taxi Driver. New York, New York. Raging Bull. King of Comedy. After Hours. Colour of Money. Last Temptation of Christ.
Yeah.
Goodfellas.
Yeah.
Cape Fear.
Yeah.
Age of Innocence. Casino.
Yeah.
Kundo.
Yeah.
Bringing Out the Dead.
Yeah.
Gangs of New York. The Aviator.
Yeah.
Departed.
What was
The
that?
Departed. It's my terrible Boston accent.
Oh, yeah.
Shutter Island.
Nice. Yeah.
Hugo.
Yeah.
The Wolf of Wall Street.
Yeah.
Silence.
Yeah.
And The Irishman.
Fucking hell.
Yeah.
It's not bad,
It's
is it?
not bad, is it?
Fuck. Yeah, that's not bad. The idea of watching The Last Temptation of Christ in 2 years in a row is a bit blimey. But it's doable.
Yeah. Yeah. We'll come back to that, have a think.
Yeah, we'll come back to that.
Yeah.
What does it even mean to miss the rains down in Africa?
The lyrics are, I bless the rains down in Africa.
What? No, they're not.
Yes they are.
It makes even less sense.
Well, I should know, because I karaoke'd it at my wedding.
Ah, well, I must have missed that. I was in the zone, tearing it up on the dance floor.
You can't dance to save your life.
Anyone ever tell you guys you bicker like an old married couple?
It's 'cause she's my work wife. Back to work, rookie. Can never do. I miss the rain down in Africa. I would like to thank you for spending your honeymoon in space with us.
It was either space or Italy. But Italy doesn't beat this here.
Right, our second feature review.
The Moonfall UK LLP production.
Yeah! This is an independently funded movie. Which is wild. And Roland Emmerich owns 50% of this movie.
He's lost a shitload of money doing that, but fine.
Oh no, I don't think he has. That's the thing. I think he's managed to fucking... I don't think he's financed 50% of it. I think he owns 50% of it.
Right, so he's... Okay, alright, yeah.
Yeah. Moonfall is written and directed by Roland Emmerich. Stars Hal Berry, Patrick Wilson, John Bradley, Michael Pena, Donald Sutherland and other people are also in there. What does IMDb say? A mysterious force knocks the moon from its orbit around Earth and sends it hurtling on a collision course with life as we know it. Yep.
Yep.
Right. I like Roland Emmerich disaster movies. I like the fact that they're big, dumb, fun, but take themselves just as seriously as I think that they need to. Ian. Moonfall.
Yeah.
It's a bit mad, isn't it? Thoughts?
I mean, it's a fascinating one. It kind of feels like a relic from a bygone era.
Yeah, this feels like a movie that should have been out in between 2008 and 2012.
Yeah, I think that's totally fair. And yeah, I mean, it's just an adorably stupid fucking thing, which only really wants to entertain. But also, Emmerich kind of can't help himself in, okay, we have to have a fucking crazy story to what is actually going on. And like Independence Day Resurgence just has to do a really sequel baity ending, which feels like he's cursing himself just doing that. But I'd like to see that sequel.
Yeah.
We're not going to. This film was independently financed to the tune of about $140 million, and has not made that on opening weekend.
No.
Did about 10 in the US. It's done like £1 million here. Spider-Man No Way Home beat it this weekend in the UK. That's insane. Like that's legitimately nuts. But I enjoyed it. I think maybe it's not the megaton of fun dumb that I wanted it to be. I think it's a little bit long. I think that when it gets into let's explain what's going on in the third act, it fucking dies on the vine for about 10 minutes at a point where you want it to be ramping up.
Is that the bit where it essentially it becomes the abyss for about 15-20 minutes?
Yeah, where Patrick Wilson is being explained to.
Which is basically what happens at the end of the abyss.
Yeah, and it's you want it to ramp up at that point, but then also you're cutting back to this group of people on Earth dealing with things that isn't as interesting, and then I'm gonna be honest, gives a really mean-spirited death to Michael Pena.
Yeah, that was a little bit. I agree with you on that one there. That felt a little bit like you didn't need that. That's a little bit of a trope of Roland Emmerich of killing off the stepdad. The perfectly nice stepdad. He's not even like the guy's an arsehole. He does it in 2012 as well.
Yes, quite. Yeah, exactly. Yes, exactly. And it's like, with this, Pena's kind of set up to be is he actually going to be a bit of a bad dude? And it's like, no, actually, he's nice. And it's like, I get, you're killing off someone to up the dramatic stakes, but hey, you've already got an awful lot of people on Earth dying. You could have saved him and had a triumphant moment.
That's it.
I don't know.
The triumphant moment would have been narratively better than it would have been him just dying.
Yeah, exactly. But I can't fully hate a film that has a couple of moments where it literally is directed to look like the moon thinks it's sneaking up on people and is being a little stinker.
Yeah, and the thing is, Ian messaged me that, and I'll be honest, I went in thinking, is this going to be one of these things where I'm just not going to notice this? But no, I did notice the two moments where Ian was talking about. I was like, yeah, that's one of them, without question. And then there's another one you go, yeah, that's the other one.
Because it's suddenly, there's a moment in space where I think Patrick Wilson's like, look, and then someone looks around and then literally the moon is just there. Yeah. And it's like, what? Did it just appear out of nowhere? And then it does that on Earth as well. Yeah. And it's just like, and suddenly the moon is there. And it's like the moon's gone, surprise! And it's the
thing is, it really is
fucking amazing.
It is, but like you say, I kind of dig that about it.
It needed more of that.
Yeah, it could have done with more of that, for sure. It has a good element of fun to it. I think John Bradley's doing some really good stuff without just being comic relief.
No, because he's very, very capable and he's helping a lot, and he's not the bumbling guy.
No.
But also he likes having his phone out and taking selfies. It feels the balance is correct.
Yeah, but he is, at no point is he annoying at all. Well, no, 2 points he's annoying. But yeah, there's but he's very. I'm watching it going, do you know what? I hope that this leads to more for you, because you are a fun fucking screen presence, but also as well is quite a nice screen presence as well. There's a definite charisma there without being overtly charismatic, if that makes sense.
Yeah,
it's very, he's very fun in it, and funny, but then the little bits of dramatic moments he also gets them quite well. I thought he might be a little bit irritating, but he doesn't. He peppers the moments quite nicely, and he plays off Patrick Wilson really, really well.
Yeah,
I get the feeling that him and Patrick Wilson enjoyed working with each other.
Yep. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and I mean, Wilson is fully there. I think Halle Berry is as well. Everybody's there. They know what they're doing and whatnot. It's just like I say, it's stupid, but an awful lot of the time, it's also like seeming to think like it's being quite serious. And I know Emmerich knows what he's doing, but for me it almost feels like, is this not a bit of a Hail Mary? Like with the way film financing is at the moment, it could be the last chance. Just go for broke and make the silliest, most fucking self-referential thing you could ever come up with, and it feels like it's got halfway there but hasn't fully committed to the bit. And
I think that there was, because apparently the idea was this is the first of a trilogy. I think he's left too much of what would have been the batshit stuff, the batshit ideas, for the next two that are not going to happen. I do. Yeah, I agree with you, because the thing is, you've got films like The Day After Tomorrow and 2012 that are big disaster movies, and they're more grounded in a in a sense of, you know what? Yes, they're amplified, but they are. This is a possible. Whereas Moonfall is just, nah, fuck it. The moon's a fucking megastructure, and aliens are attacking it. Oh, by the way, we created that megastructure, and it's like, what the fuck? You've thrown an awful lot out there, Ronnie.
That's the thing. It's so much in such a condensed period of time, and it's like, right, I've just been having a bit of a laugh with this for like this first 90 minutes, and now is this suddenly the tree of life? Like, what the fuck's happening? And yeah, that's like I say, it just kind of took the air out of the balloon. You want it to be ramping up at that point, not sitting down for a lecture.
Yeah. It goes, what if we had like the end of the Abyss mixed with the start of Prometheus? Boom!
Yeah. Seeding the world with the DNA and whatnot. Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
But then, like, the shots on Earth are like something out of fucking Melancholia. With, like, the moon being really close and whatnot. It's nuts in the way that it's constructed, but not nuts enough in the way that it's delivered.
Yeah, and it's not quite as a visual spectacle of something like 2012.
No, yeah, it's not. It's not. You're right. Like, the gravity kind of wave stuff is cool, but there's not enough of it. There's not enough of that. And also, that is all I was thinking through that bit is, and those people who just drove away have now stopped to look at all of this instead of driving away from what looks like something that is coming towards you.
Yeah.
But it just like that just took me out of it completely. Just a very, very dumb decision.
It's also one of the films where I have been most aware watching it going, that's where some of the money's come from.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
Yeah, without question.
Yeah, you kind of half expected it produced by Elon Musk.
At the end. Musk has definitely given some fucking money to this fucking movie, and Lexus, without question, have given a lot of money to this movie.
Oh, Lexus, yeah, 100%. But I mean, like, just the I love Elon thing, again, that sounds like a comment from a film 10 years ago.
And it happens twice.
Yeah, whereas now Elon Musk is a divisive figure. It feels like when he was guest starring on The Simpsons, which I would assume was probably about 10 years ago, that's when you do the I love Elon things.
Whereas now he's a piece of shit.
He's a creepy fucking dude. Like, yeah.
He is part of the problem, not part of the solution that he claimed he was for so many years.
It's a complicated one, but yeah.
Never before has the Elon Musk with the Apu jumping in front of a bullet thing and the weird nerds thing been more fucking true with Elon Musk. The guy's a fucking prick. Yeah, a man who claims to be doing so much good with his billions but isn't doing fucking anything at all. Just make a fucking test. If you want electric vehicles to be part of everything, then use all of that money to make one that the average family can buy. Yeah. Stop fucking trying to push fucking crypto on me, you prick. Anyway, sorry, I fucking despise that man.
Yeah, a little bit triggered, yeah.
Yeah, fucking just, no. But yeah, and then the Lexus bits in it were there. Yeah, so it's... Yeah. The thing is, I really enjoyed Moonfall. I got everything I needed to get out of it. I'm a little bit... There's a lot of people being quite snippy about it online. And going, it's one of the dumbest movies ever made. And I'm a bit like, really? Because I've seen Avatar. I don't think he's ever trying to be smart. I don't think it's ever trying to be, Interstellar. think it's very aware of what it is.
Yeah, it is. I don't know, just with that Prometheus-y kind of stuff, I do wonder whether it's got ideas above its station, but at the same time, Emmerich does seem to know in other moments what he's doing. Like we said at the start, it feels like a film not of this time, and I will be absolutely honest, I'm kind of okay with its time being past. I think Geostorm was the apex of this, where that film is just the dumbest fucking thing.
I mean, Geostorm...
It's not taking itself seriously enough, in the way that Moonfall is. I thought Moonfall was going to be the natural successor to Geostorm, and I don't think it is. Geostorm is a snowflake. It is unique.
Yes, in the sense that it is a film called Geostorm. It is a disaster movie about a geostorm that doesn't contain a geostorm.
It is a film where Andy Garcia plays the President of the United States, basically does something which subverts the law of physics, is asked how he did it, and his response is, because I am the President of the United States of America.
Yep.
It is a film where Gerard Butler and Jim Sturridge have an entire conversation which seems to be about nothing, but was Gerard Butler talking to Jim Sturgis in code the entire time.
Is it about fishing or something like that?
It's about fishing, yeah. Geostorm is a blessing.
Yep.
Moonfall, unfortunately, is not. But I don't think it's shit. I think it's entertaining. But it's not a Geostorm. It's definitely not shit.
Yeah, I agree with that. It's definitely not shit. But it's not quite a Geostorm, because I don't think it's there aren't enough moments in it that make me just sort of laugh and shake my head and go, do you know what? I'm fair enough, but I'm enjoying it.
The Geostorm rating is a rating that can transcend the star rating barriers. So, where this is a definitely not shit, but in the scale of this film, a Geostorm is higher.
Yes. Yeah. No, that's spot on. Yeah.
You know, it's like the level of definitely not shit this is at is not as high as either the higher level of definitely not shit or a Geostorm. So, it's
This film should have been a Geostorm, and it's not. Yeah. It's not shit because it's fine. If this film would be 10 minutes longer, it'd have been shit.
Yeah, I mean, it almost deserves its own rating of a Moonfall, where it's a definitely not shit, but you think that a Geostorm would have been a higher rating. But I'm not going to call it a Moonfall. I'm going to call it a definitely not shit because I don't think it deserves its own rating for not living up to a Geostorm.
Yeah, it can't do that. Geostorm, that'd be cheapening the idea of a Geostorm.
Agreed.
Moonfall, definitely not shit, 30%. Touching cloth, 0%. Shit, 30%. And Geostorm, 40%.
The thing, but I get it. But that's not what conceptually the point of the Geostorm is. But I don't think I've ever explained that before. So that's on me. That's feedback. I will take that on as feedback.
Yeah, that's a spot on explanation for it as well. Questions? We have a few. Christopher Burns says, which film franchise or standalone film should get multiple TV spin-offs? Mark doesn't even need to watch them.
I don't know. It's difficult. I wonder if because I finally finished season 2 of The Mandalorian this week, and I could see what the argument of people saying that Star Wars works better at TV than movies. Like, when it's TV done at that level, I can kind of understand that, to be honest. I don't know. I mean, like, I think Dune wouldn't be a bad shout for that. I think the politics and the vying peoples of Dune, I think, would work really well in long form. I wouldn't watch it, but it would work.
That's it. Yeah, you wouldn't want to watch it, but you could see how it could be a thing that would exist.
No, because I mean, this is the thing about Mandalorian, right? Once you skip the recap at the start and the credits at the end, they're only about 30-35 minutes a piece. They're deceptively short. Dune would be like big old hour-long episodes, and it's just like, I'm out.
It'd be dry as well, wouldn't it? It'd be really dry.
Yeah, quite. I don't know. I mean, like, to be honest, I think there's an argument these days for things that are mini-series. Would they be better told as films?
Yeah, I completely agree.
Because
I think
that pendulum seems to be swinging back. Sorry.
Yeah, I think when we were talking about the Insider on the MAM podcast there, $2 a month patrons.
Yeah.
I don't know if I mentioned this, but I said to Bex, the issue is, if this was made now, it would be a 3 to 4 part mini-series, and it wouldn't be as good for it. And that's the thing. These things wouldn't be as good for it if they were done like that. I don't know what film series would make a good TV spin-offs.
Well, I mean, like, because in a way, I think quite a lot of Scorsese would work. Like, having a fucking casino over the course of a mini-series could be interesting. But at the same time, it works really well as a 3-hour film. So
I think Big Trouble in Little China could work. Just like spending time with different of those characters, just like even just going about their day would be quite amusing.
Sure,
I think I'd definitely watch that. But that'd be the only one I'd watch. Dylan Black Lanterns says, do you have any thoughts on the upcoming Jimmy Savile film with Steve Coogan?
That's a bold strategy, Cotton. Let's see if it pays off.
Yeah, I'm going to go further than that and say, no, why? Like, it feels a little bit like nobody was asking for this. I don't think anybody really wants it that much. It feels a little bit cheap.
And I'll be honest, given the current
climate
events, it feels like it could be potentially legitimately dangerous. It was already a high degree of difficulty, but I think Steve Coogan, knowing what his kind of like political opinions are, would probably be very wary of releasing that kind of content now. For those listening outside the UK, Jimmy Savile, famed entertainment presenter who was found to be frankly a massive paedophile on an almost industrial scale. And Keir Starmer, the Labour leader who was the director of public prosecutions at that time, Boris Johnson in the House of Commons last week basically said, Keir Starmer, fuck him, he was spending he should have been he was too busy trying to prosecute journalists and not Jimmy Savile. And now, yesterday, as we record, he was attacked by a bunch of anti-vaxxers who were also shouting shit about Jimmy Savile at him. So Boris Johnson dog whistled the fucking right, and here they come.
For clarity, the Keir Starmer should have prosecuted or chose to not prosecute the Jimmy Savile is a completely untrue right-wing conspiracy theory that was completely debunked years ago. Incidentally, the Conservative Party though made him a knight and buried several allegations against him over the years because he was friends with the Prime Minister at the time.
There you go. So So Steve Coogan doing it, already an insanely high degree of difficulty, and frankly, it feels like a bit of history that doesn't need any retelling unless it's going to be a very factual documentary for the public record.
Yeah, unless it's going to point some fingers in the right way, in the right direction. Which could be. Yeah, I think maybe I don't know. It's one of those. I think after the fact, it'll be a better time to comment.
Yeah, I have zero interest in watching it, and to be honest, it's one of those things. I don't know why anyone would want to watch it.
Yeah, you're watching something that you know is going to be fucking miserable and unpleasant.
It feels like. Yeah, it feels like rubbernecking. It feels like, okay, let's see Steve Coogan do this then. And it just... Yeah, I'm not going to say shame on them for making it, because knowing Steve Coogan's politics and whatnot, I'm sure he's doing it for what he thinks are the right reasons, and those reasons are fair enough. But it doesn't mean I need to... it doesn't mean I want to watch it.
Yeah. I think I'm there with you as well on that one. Yeah. Is Michael Winterbottom directing it by chance?
Sure. Probably, innit?
Yes. Have a look. No, it's not. It's Sandra Goldbacher.
What's she done?
She has done TV stuff.
Okay.
I'd say nothing of what is it, but these TV shows might be fucking huge. So
what have you got?
The Hour, Endeavour, Victoria, Anne with an E, Ordeal by Innocence, The Accident. Don't know.
No, okay, fine. Don't recognise any of them.
Good,
okay.
Yeah, because I won't recognise with their TV.
Oh, you still there? Mark, you there? I appear to have lost Mark. Oh, that's weird. Hang on. Are you there? Oh, I don't know what to do here, Mark. I can't have headphones unplugged because Lots is asleep in the next room. Mark, sorry, because obviously you're recording on your end. Do you... No, maybe I should tell the people what's coming up next week. Can you type if that's okay? I can't hear shit. I don't know. It's very weird. Okay, so apologies for the abrupt ending there, and I know we had a couple other questions, but I don't know what's going on here, and I'm ever so sorry I can't make that much noise now because Lots is asleep, like I say. So coming up on next week's show, oh, Mark's typing, we are going to have Uncharted, I believe. Mark says by audience. We're going to have Uncharted, and we are going to have Death on the Nile. Let's see how long into the film it takes for Armie Hammer to die. That's my prediction. I don't know anything about Death on the Nile, but I think Armie Hammer's going to die. It looks like he's just in flashback sequences, but we'll see. But yeah, Uncharted as well. We'll see Mark Wahlberg with that Freddie Mercury moustache. What fun. So yeah, I think that's probably it. I'm a little bit untethered now because Mark was going to do this bit, but thanks for listening. Bye. What a catastrophe.
If you're gonna be dumb, you gotta be tough. When you get knocked down, you gotta get back up. I ain't the sharpest knife in the drawer, but I know enough to know if you're gonna be dumb, you gotta be tough. I lit my brain with vodka whiskey till my pain was chicken fried. And I had dudes with badges frisk me, will teach me how to swallow pride. I took advice no fool would take. I got some habits I can't shake. I ain't the sharpest knife in the drawer, but I know enough to know if you're gonna be dumb, you gotta be tough. If you're gonna be dumb, you gotta be tough. When you get knocked down, you gotta get back up. That's the way it is in life and love. If you're gonna be dumb, you gotta be tough. I've been up and down and down and out. I've been left and right and wrong. Well, I walk the walk and I've run my mouth. Been on the short end for too long. But if the A gave medals for honky tonk fucking wars, hell, I'd keep mine in a chest of drawers with my IRS bills and divorce papers and all that stuff. If you're gonna be dumb, you gotta be tough. If you're gonna be dumb, you gotta be tough. When you get knocked down, you gotta get back up.
podcast is part of the Pod Syndicate family. For more criminally compelling shows, articles, and conversations, head to wearepodsyndicate.com.